I have to get off this thing to go on my. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna let Champ listen to some music. I'll holler at y'all in the meantime. Peace, love, and blessings. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Bomb Squad!
Good morning, good evening. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. I am Trill LDBC or nothing. And welcome to yet another episode in the Trill from the Ground Up podcast with me. Know what I mean? Shout out to the mighty LDBC, the Lions Den boxing community. For those who don't know, now you know. Three things I ask when I go live. Number one, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you click that bell icon so that whenever I go live, YouTube will probably tell you that I'm live. Hopefully they will anyway. Keep my fingers crossed. I'm in shadow ban land, so there's that. Number two, make sure that you hit that like button. Hitting that like button pushes this video into the algorithm because I'm shadow banned, which is fun. Shadow ban. Yeah, that's me. And number three, make sure you donate to the channel. Your donations are greatly appreciated. I appreciate you all in advance already. Who do we got in this building? Rich now. Woke Mike is in the building. What's up with it, family? How you doing? My brother from another mother, Shelton, in the building. What's up, Brody? Miss Fancy, hello. How are you? Ratchet's 91. Salute to you, King. How you doing this morning, man? Mr. Vino Gotti in the building. Miss Nina's in the building. How you doing, Queen? My brother Joe Townsend with that old Hillside bourbon brand. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, yes. Okie dokie. If you was here anytime last week, excuse me, if you were here anytime last week, you would have seen I did a live stream. Live streaming, Lisa, how you doing? Live streaming Pam Bondi's Crash Out in the middle of Congress. And on the outside, to somebody who just looks at stuff for the obvious reasons, it's one thing. But for an analytical thinker like myself, there's a whole lot of things to unpack with all this. It's a whole lot of stuff to unpack with all this. It's a lot. A whole lot. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. Hold on, let me find it. 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 We find. Okay. Okay, let's find it. Let me find. I know exactly where to go. Let me go here first, and because I just got home. I'm sorry, y'all. I am sorry. I just got home. Yes, I just got home. So, let me find my example that I would love to use. Yeah, there we go. And share this. Hey, Katie, how are you? Julie, how you doing? Coach, what's up with it, my brother? Salute to you, man. I shot you the link, dog. My brother Soul, what's up with it, Brody? What's good with it? Salute to you, King. Oh, you doing on this good old Sunday? But here's part of the this is Jasmine Crockett completely eviscerating Pam Bondi. This is an example.
Let me address the survivors, because that's exactly who they are. They are not victims, they are survivors. Let me say thank you for having more courage and moral clarity in your pinky fingers than the entire Department of Justice. We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world. But we don't know the basics of right and wrong in this country, because it's not about partisanship. And that's why I applaud Thomas Massie, because he's the only person on the Republican side that has a backbone and knows how to stand up to corruption. But nevertheless, let me keep going. My Democratic colleagues have been attacked this entire committee hearing. They have been lied on. And frankly, the American people weren't looking for that. They were looking for answers about the corruption that they see coming from this administration. In fact, this administration is complicit. But there are numerous others, like how the DOJ is attempting to obstruct justice in the investigation of the rogue agents who have murdered American citizens, or how the DOJ seized voter data from Fulton County in an attempt to steal the 2026 midterm elections, or how federal agents have Tom Homan on tape accepting a bribe and your agency killed the investigation, or how your agency is ready to give the president a $230 million payday, which is unconstitutional. The Constitution is clear. The president shall not receive any payment except his salary while in office. The fact of the matter is that you will be remembered as one of the worst attorney generals in history. An attorney general who has prioritized obstruction over justice, corruption over the law, fealty to the president over loyalty to the Constitution. And Mr. Chairman, I will yield. Let me address.
There we go right there. 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 See, you got people like this who can't spell. Dem mob crap friends are on the list too. When did I say those people were my friends? Those people work for me. They work for you. We don't have friends who work for us. This is where you don't get it. This is where y'all always fail. Now, let me go back to my point while stupid people try to write to me and comment. Anyways, Pam Bondi went to Congress and shit the bucket, basically. John, what's going on, man? Steve, how you doing, man? Basically went to Congress and took a huge dump in the middle of Congress, crashing out, talking about the Dow Jones, not having any concerns, couldn't look the survivors in the face, couldn't do anything. And I learned something from that. And y'all know me, I'm an analytical thinker. I'm always thinking. Keeping it real, what's up with it, family? How you feel, man? Jay Nosowitz, what's up with it, family? How you doing? Y'all smash the like button. One thing that I learned, something very valuable that I learned, and I want to teach something to y'all. Tom, what's up with family? How you doing? I want y'all to learn something very, 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 very important. Pam Bondi is an example. My big brother, Drew Titan, what's up with it, bro? The truth and nothing but the truth. The big lesson that I learned from this whole debacle of Pam Bondi going and crashing out in the middle of Congress was that the elites will use any token they want to when they want to. And when your purpose is over, they will discard you just like the trash they think you are. What are you saying, Trill Will? I'm saying that the reason why Pam Bondi going to that congressional hearing and crashing out and looking as ignorant and stupid as she could possibly look, the reason why she looked the way she did is because that's her purpose. Her purpose is to divert all attention away from the real criminals and place them somewhere else where it does not belong. Paul, how you doing, man? They place the attention on someone else. Tay, how you doing, Queen? They are taking white women, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Lauren Boebert. They are using these white women to take the blunt end of the failure that's about to come. They're trying to use every tactic in the book, the same tactics they've been using for over 400 years. They've been using the same tactics every time. And white women have been falling for it. They've been falling over themselves for the absolute longest. Amerikkka Kirk. All of them are all serving a purpose to uphold the system of white patriarchy and white supremacy. American Hispanics support Trump. How's that working out for you? People in ICE detention centers would like a word, sir. This is why I say, you people who think like that are the biggest idiots I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. I don't know how y'all even think or fathom that this is even remotely smart or anyways beneficial to you. Now, I got questions for you, Mr. Randy, sir. I got questions for you. I'm gonna try to be as good as I can today. Explain this for me then.
Hola, soy Ángela María Vergara, madre de Rafael Alfonso Vergara Vergara, retenido de manera injusta en Estados Unidos por ICE. Lleva 18 días encarcelado, encadenado en unas condiciones inhumanas.
I do not care. I do not care. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Angela Vergara, a Colombian Trump supporter. I will vote for Donald Trump. Mr. Trump, we vote for you. Right? This abhorrent piece of trash used to celebrate ICE kidnapping and breaking up families. She used to be one of those ones saying, Mr. Trump, you do a good job. You do a good job, until it came to her front door and they got her son. Now you want sympathy. Now you want us to feel bad. Now you want us to go out here and protest for you. Now you want sympathy. Now you want compassion. Now you want us to go out here and activate and get out here and get to moving and shaking in these streets. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Nope. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Nope. We ain't going. You lay in that bed you made. You lay in that bed you made. Again, pay attention, Randy. Pay close attention. These people, these elitists, the Epstein class. I want to tell y'all something. There's a big old secret. And I was going to wait till about the middle part of the show to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Here's the big part of the show. Y'all remember QAnon? Of course y'all remember QAnon. QAnon conspiracy theories have been going around saying there's a big cabal of pedophiles that are running this country. And you want to know something weird? They were absolutely right. But the place where they had their crosshairs was absolutely wrong. They were talking about themselves. They were talking about Trump. They were talking about Jeffrey Epstein. They were talking about the Heritage Foundation. They were talking about Stephen Miller. They were talking about Steve Bannon. They were talking about Kristi Noem. They were talking about Pam Bondi. They were talking about themselves. That big cabal of pedophiles that are running this country are the elitists in the Epstein class. Bill Gates is part of the cabal of pedophiles. This lady right here is useless to them. Oh, will they celebrate her cheers when she's cheering them on while they're kidnapping and breaking up families? Sure they will. Yeah. You're right. Mr. Trump is good. Until those Jan Sixers, those Boogaloo boys, those 3%ers, those Proud Boys kick in your door with no training, no education, and they kidnap your son. Oh, now you crying. Now you're crying. Now you feel the pain. Now you feel it. Now you feel it. Don't feel too good, does it? Y'all notice that the same thing happens to these people every single time. Every time the elitists get somebody, some stooge, some token, some Sambo, some sellout from no matter what demographic you come from, some sellout that comes out here parroting white supremacist talking points. Every single time they're done using them, y'all know what happens to them? This is the same thing. It happens every single time. Lamont Griffin, what's up, family? There you go. Right there. Right there. Then you have people like Randy who come in here. Oh, American Hispanics support Trump. Sure you do. But my question to you, though, Mr. Randy, is does Trump support you? Does Donald Trump's policies support you? The obvious answer to that is no. You know they don't. Everything is trash now. Everything is more expensive. Everything. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has made more money now than he's ever made in the 70-something years that he's been out here doing his thing. There ain't no business where Donald Trump profited the way he profited using the White House as his personal fucking slot machine. There is no time in history in none of Donald Trump's businesses where he made this much money. There's not one time period in the history of the Trump organization where they geared up and made this much money. You can't show a period of time where Donald Trump made this much money doing business. You can't. You cannot, because it doesn't exist. Donald Trump is using the office of the White House and the presidency to benefit himself, to make himself a very rich man. But like my brother Coach said the other day, and I salute my brother Coach Hudson, coach of the truth tellers. You know what I'm saying? Salute to him. When he said, what profits a man to gain the whole world, but yet to lose his soul? Trump has no soul left. Elon Musk has no soul. Bill Gates has no soul. None of these people, Jeffrey Epstein had no soul. Ghislaine Maxwell has no soul. Melania has no soul. You can tell, look at them. They move robotically. They move without a conscience, no moral compass whatsoever. They move. The only reason they move is to benefit themselves. No matter how many of y'all come in here thinking that Donald Trump loves you and Donald Trump loves America and Donald Trump does this and Donald Trump is this, that no matter what you think, he does not share the same sentiment. This lady right here found out. She effed around and she found out. She found out that same system that made her feel like she had access to whiteness and white patriarchy was going to be the same system that's going to support her. But, whoops, so sorry, ma'am. So sorry. That system does not work for you, my dear. That system does not work for you. And don't worry, y'all know I have contextual evidence to prove my point, right? Y'all know I do have evidence, right? Y'all do know I have evidence, right? So, Mr. Jeremy Carl, another fuck around and find out moment. This fat slithering slob of mayonnaise went to the White House and thought he was gonna go and talk about white supremacist tactics and white supremacy. And y'all listen to just how weak, how pathetic, how envious they are of anybody that's doing better than them without the assistance and the cheat codes that they have baked into this system. Don't worry. Y'all know I'm going to show you. Y'all know I'm going to show you, right? Y'all know we're going to show you. But listen, take a listen.
Tell me how you define white identity and what you think is being erased about white identity.
Certain types of Anglo-derived culture that comes from our history.
Like what?
Let me think about this. Senator, I would say if you were to look at the book by one of your former Senate colleagues, Born Fighting, about the sort of Scotch-Irish military culture and certain, pride that went with that, that would be one example. Obviously, you could have sub-elements of that culture. You could have Italians, you could have Irish, and those are in many ways more.
Yeah, but you're worried about white culture. You're not worried about, you're now retreating to ethnic identity. You don't speak about ethnic identity. You speak about white identity. So tell me the values that stitch together white identity and that make it different than black identity.
I would say that the white church is very different than the black church in terms of its tone and style on average. Food ways could often be different.
And those are
music could be different.
And those are being erased.
Music could be different. Well, if you look at the Super Bowl halftime show, which was not in English this year.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased?
I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized, and I think that weakens us. And again, I'm not running away from that comment. I'm not apologizing for it.
Well, I'm way over my time. I think you're struggling to answer this question, right? Because underlying your
Where are the
beliefs
white women at?
Is a sentiment that white culture is just simply better.
That's just an example of what this blathering idiot went up to the White House and sat there and cried and whined. Oh, white erasure. White erasure. White erasure. Oh, God. The white culture is erased. Can't even give an example of it. Oh, the black church is different from the white church. Well, I got a question for you. I have a question. So why are white churches using the same kind of less cadence that black preachers who hoop? If you know anything about church, you know about hooping preachers who sing while they talking, who use correct verbiage, who use enunciation and emotional words to where they pull people into what they're preaching. Why do white preachers now sound like those same black preachers? Because you have no culture. You've never had culture. You've been doing the same thing. It's the same trick over and over and over again. It's the same trick. It's the same trick. It's the same trick. It's the same trick. This same guy literally sat there and complained the whole time. Well, we don't have this. We don't have that. Oh, God, we don't have this. Charlie Kirk's whole platform was white man whining syndrome. Nick Fuentes' platform is nothing but whining white man syndrome. That is all they are. That is what they are. That is what they contribute. They don't contribute. You name one thing these people, what did Charlie Kirk do to benefit everybody? Name one thing he did, since he's such a martyr. He's such a great divine human being, like y'all say, right? Name one thing Charlie Kirk built to help everybody and not enrich himself. Don't worry, go. Don't worry, I got time today. Name one thing Charlie Kirk did, since he was such a martyr and he cared so much and he was so godly. If my memory serves me correctly, the Bible says when Jesus walked the earth as a carpenter, one of his biggest messages in his sermons was, do for the least of these. What did Charlie Kirk do for the least of these? Not 86, 97. What's up, family? How you feel, man? AB, what's up, family? What did Charlie Kirk do that was a benefit to everybody? Don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. I'm going somewhere with this. What did he do? He did nothing. He did nothing but benefit himself, spreading misinformation, lies, and slander about the Black community. Look at this fucking idiot, man. Look at these people. Not at 8697 in the super chat. He said, salute Trill Will and salute to the mighty LDBC. Salute to you, family. I want y'all to look at this stupid ass shit. I want you to look at this dumb ass shit. Look at this stupid ass shit. What did y'all listen to the question again? Okay, dumbasses. Ed Dijo and Randy, listen to my question again, because I guess comprehension is not your strong suit. What did Charlie Kirk do to help everybody? Charlie fought for people in schools to be heard since they were being harassed by the left for their views. When was the left going around harassing people for their views? When did that happen? Show me documented proof of when that happened. When did it happen? When did that happen? The only people who are trying to steal views from other people is the right. You stupid motherfuckers. Y'all the only ones that are banning books. Y'all are the only ones canceling studies. Oh, man, see, the 1619 project, man, it's DEI. It's DEI. DEI frightens me because I'm mediocre as fuck. I can't think for myself. Mediocre as fuck. What? DEI, those blacks. The blacks. Oh my God, the blacks. The blacks, guys. The blacks. The blacks are blacking again. We can't just go up and call them niggers anymore. We call them niggers more. Listen to my question again. What did Charlie Kirk do to help Black students? What did he do to help Asian students? What did he do to help Latino students? What did he do? I don't like your words. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck if you like them or not. I'm not here for you to like my fucking words. I'm here for you to tell me, what did Charlie Kirk do to help everybody? You stupid racist piece of shit. Y'all are fucking retarded. Look at these fucking dumbasses. Look at them. We will vote red till our party restores the democratic. What democratic values are they restoring today? What are they doing? What are they doing now? You're a racist. What's racist? What's racist? Dumbass John Wood. Me hurting your little pissy ass feelings. Oh, will hurt my feelings. My pussy hurts. Oh God. Oh God. Can you speak like an adult? Can you take your stinking white ass back the fuck over there to Cockistan where you came from, motherfucker? This ain't a democracy over here. Take your stinking ass over there, son Dodger. I don't give a fuck about hurting your feelings. I don't care. Y'all are the biggest, whiniest, bitch-ass crybabies I've ever seen in my entire life. Y'all, he doesn't cuss words. He doesn't cuss words. Fuck you and your mama. How about that? You feel better now? You feel better? How much of y'all being paid to come in and say this stupid shit? Y'all are big whiny bitches. That's what y'all are. The whole right ain't nothing but a bunch of whiny, crybaby, weak ass bitches who are stupid. Y'all have the IQ of a gnat's ass. Y'all are the dumbest bastards God ever created. We won't vote red until we're stupid, till they take all our rights away and give all our money away to the rich who already got more money than they'll ever spend in this lifetime. Y'all are stupid as fuck. Thank you, Sue. Sue, thank you. Sue, Sue, why can't everybody have a brain that works like yours? Why? Why can't they have a brain that works like yours, honey? Why can't they? Somebody block this Chris McGinnis dumbass. Get that fucking spamming shit out my chat. Foul mouth. Fuck you. How about that? You want to hear some more of my fucking foul mouth, you fucking retard? How about that, John Woods, you fucking dork? Oh, man, look, these motherfuckers are mad because I'm more educated than you. I have 2 college degrees. Chris McGinnis, you fucking weenie. How about this, Chris McGinnis? Take you and your bullshit ass ideology the fuck out my chat. How about that? Keep proving me right. What have you proven so far, dumbass? That you're a fucking troll? That you have no brain and you can't think for yourself and you don't give a fuck about nobody but your fucking self? Then you come in here acting self-righteous like you better than everybody? Shut your bitch ass up, you stupid bitch. You a bitch. I'll tell you what you are, Mr. John Woods. You're a bitch. You're a bitch-made coward that hides behind a computer screen. That's what you are, you fucking goofball. I'm gonna let Donald Trump molest little kids and don't say nothing about it. I'm gonna let the rich keep stealing our fucking money and raising prices on everything while they get increasingly rich, while we get even poorer. We're gonna keep letting the world laugh at us like the dumbasses that we are, letting these dumbass rednecks run us into the ground. I don't care about Trump fucking little kids though. What are you? Yeah, I'm sure you fucked little kids before because Trump has. That's exactly how y'all fucking sound. Y'all do not care that Trump fucks little kids. Y'all don't care that he raped them. Y'all don't care that they possibly killed kids. Y'all don't care that they ate them. You don't give a fuck that they were using this trafficking organization also to funnel money. Y'all do not care. You motherfuckers are the blindest, dumbest motherfuckers in this country. That's why we're going to fail. Because the retards are running this country. Look at this fucking goof. Look, take your stupid bitch ass out my chat, you fucking weenie. Get your dumb ass out of here, John, with your crybaby ass. Take your crybaby bitch ass back over there to one of those Sambo channels that's buck dancing to the tune that you like, you fucking weirdo. He's got it. He's got it. I never heard Coach one before. It hurt my little ear. My fragile little ears can't hear no cussing. Y'all are the weakest bands of bitches I've ever seen. You want me to be afraid of you? You want me as a black man in this racist ass country to be afraid of you? Look at these fucking dumbasses. Look at them. Trump is the only one who's been vindicated in the files. Good God almighty. Y'all motherfuckers are stupid. Lots of cuss. Y'all act like Republicans don't cuss. Trump literally said fuck on TV. You didn't say nothing about that, did you? So let's talk about something, Stanley, you fucking retard. Do you care about Trump fucking little kids or not? Hey, Shelton, don't tell him my secret yet. Secret yet. Didn't let them assume. You know what happens when you assume some shit, right? You make an ass out of yourself. Y'all are fucking stupid. Stanley likes little kids. Stanley is a pedophile protector. How is somebody innocent and been vindicated when their name's mentioned over 1 million times in a file with the world's most prolific fucking sex trafficker? How does that work? This motherfucker said, let's compare it. Donald Trump literally fucked his own daughter. God damn, the delusion is real, bro. Delusion. Delusion. Y'all are delusional. Coach, my brother.
Salute, brother. Can you hear me?
Right now. I can hear you fine, Coach.
Man, happy Black History Month to my brother Trill. Will, it's been about
you, my comrade. Yes,
my
indeed.
comrade.
How you doing today, brother?
I'm blessed and highly favored. It's been about 2 weeks since I've been on the channel. Your comrade's been in the gym working hard.
I see putting
that work in. But you know, over these last 2 weeks, I've had the opportunity to reflect, and I have to say this, family. I knew that racists were cowards. What I did not expect, though, I did not expect them to defend pedophiles.
Damn.
I thought to myself, now this right here is going to draw the line. This right here is going to be the day they say, you know what? Regardless if you're black, regardless if you're yellow, regardless if you're white, we have to protect these children. This right here is where I draw the line. But nope,
My God, today.
you showed your cowardice. So this is what I came up in my mind. Racism is no longer just a social construct. We have to realize that this is a demonic spirit in the minds of these people. For them to sit up here and come in and defend pedophiles, and for you that's saying you're not defending pedophiles, watch this. When you say, but Biden did it, when you say, but there are Democrats that did it, you are defending pedophiles. And
Thank you.
should shut your demonic mouth. I rebuke you and your mindset in the name of Jesus. Now, you might not believe in Jesus, but you know who did believe in Jesus? You know who is mocking Jesus in those files? Some of your elites. Some of you elites who you all have been up here defending. So since you all are here and you wanna listen, I'm gonna upset that spirit that's inside of you a little more. So listen to this. You belong to your father, the devil, and and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. Yet because I tell the truth, you do not believe me. Can any of you prove me guilty of sin? If I am telling the truth, why don't you believe me? Whoever belongs to God hears what God says. The reason you do not hear is that you do not belong to God. So I realized that it's no longer you. It's no longer the man or the woman that I'm talking to. It is a demonic spirit that you have inside of you. You don't even care about the horrible atrocities that are in those files. Now, let me just break down a few of these excuses some of you demons have already said in the chats. Excuse one. I seen someone say earlier about the black church and the white church. Well, let's go back. Why was there a black church and a white church? Why is Sunday the most segregated day in America? Well, you see, black folks tried to worship God with you, but you know what you did? You said you all got to sit in the back, and then eventually you said, you know what, that's not good enough. So after Sunday service, so-called white Christians were hanging black Christians. That's a fact. That's not my opinion. So till this day, that's the reason why it's a church in God in Christ. That's the reason why it's an AME Baptist church. So before you try to get mad at us, before you try to get mad at Trill Will, you should check yourself. You should check your ancestors and what they did. Now, you see, this is what these demons do. They come in, they can't deal with the truth that I'm saying, so they try to deviate it. But see, listen, you are of your father, the devil. Your mindset and your ideology. That's why the only thing you can do right now is troll, because you cannot refute the truth. The truth stands alone by itself. I'm not done. Let's keep going. One of you also posted, but Biden did it. I believe Trill Will said from the beginning that we don't give a damn if Biden did it, if anybody did it in the Democratic Party. If you are in that list and you are guilty of harming the innocence of a child, we want you held to the highest extent of the law. But you all don't want to call that for what it is. You all are still making excuses for the man that you idolize, for the man that you idol worship, who would not throw a glass of water on you if you were on fire. Now let me show you some more hypocrisy of you. Let me hold that mirror up to you some more. Now some of you are saying, well, Trump has been, he's been found innocent, even though he's all in the files. You say, well, even though his name so far is mentioned 38,000 times in the files, he still must be innocent. Are you the same people? Are you the same people that said President Obama must get away from Minister Farrakhan? And after he said, I'm no longer around him, you said that wasn't good enough. You let a woman wicked like Hillary Trump tell you well, that wasn't good enough. We need to hear it again. We need to hear you distance yourself from Reverend Wright as well. Now, these are men that you all just didn't agree with. These aren't men that have a criminal background. These are men that were found guilty, let me remind you, found guilty of trafficking. That's why I know what you are. And I've had to come to a conclusion over the last 2 weeks that you all are some of the biggest threats to this country. You, as long as you have this racist mindset that you are better just because you are white, or you're using this excuse that, well, you know, Trump is going to save the country, it's not about race, you're a liar. For Epstein to be on an interview to say, well, I hate black people, at the same time committing all of these atrocities, this is how I know that this is a wicked spirit and some of you are wicked people. You want to be on both sides of history, but you can't. A double-minded individual is always unstable in his ways. That is what the scripture says. So you all can come in here and you can get mad at Trill Will all you want. You should be mad at these elites, these pedophiles, and you all are getting more and more upset every day because you're seeing that every lie that you thought was true, that you ran with your Fox News talking points, you see it's not in void. You're starting to see now they're saying that Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch was actually built to save children from Epstein Island. Now you all are very silent. You all have nothing to say, but you all had so much to say about Diddy. You had so much to say about R. Kelly. You had so much to say about MJ and called him Jacko and weirdo and all of these things, but now you are silent. I'm going to land my plane here. You are of your father, the devil. There is no truth in you. You are the same wicked people who Jesus is talking to in the scriptures. You are the same wicked people that idolize Nimrod in the scriptures. You all are the same wicked people that our forefathers dealt with, and there's no truth inside of you. And also, let me say this. Your time is ending because your own white brothers and sisters in the community, they don't want you around either. They know that you are harmful and you are a weapon to their children as well. And I hope that if you don't turn from your wicked ways, God gives you everything you deserve 10 times fold.
That's a word right there. Now, just to piggyback off what Coach just said, Pam Bondi came out with this BS list, and guess what she put on it? Barack and Michelle Obama, Joe Biden, a whole bunch of Democrats they don't like. But I got a question for you. Since this list is allegedly supposed to be true from Pam Bondi, where's the pictures of Barack Obama at? And Michelle Obama. Where are the pictures at with them? Where's the pictures? Where's the evidence? See, before you make accusations like this and you put all these people on here, you put Kurt Cobain, who's been deceased for, good God, forever and a day, since I was in high school. You got Bill Cosby on there. You got all kinds of names that you picked and chose and put on there. You got all these names that you put on there. And yet, still, you can't show me any evidence of it. Hold on. Do you want me to cash app you or?
Either one. Whatever you want to do. We're going to Outback.
Give me some ribs and fries. And get Trina whatever she wants and Kennedy too. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Y'all see all these names they put on here? This is nothing but a deflection tactic. So they can, it's all of them. What did me and Coach just say? I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican. I don't care if you're independent, Green Party, Blue Party, Orange Party. I don't give a damn. There's not one damn I give. If you're on that list and you cause harm to a child, to the wood chipper you go. I don't care about the names. I don't care about your political affiliations. I don't care. I don't care how prolific you are in society. I don't really care about none of that. What I care about What I care about is, did you harm a child? Did you harm a child? If you harmed a child, to the wood chipper you go. I know this list is full of shit. I don't trust a liar. Pam Bondi has proven herself to be a liar for a minute now. She's been lying. This whole administration is a cabal of lies. And like Coach said, you are your father's children. These people are their father's children. They're the fathers of lies and confusion. They are the worshipers of Baal. They worship a golden calf, which is Trump. They give him fake awards to appease his ego. They walk up and down, sucking this man off every chance they get because they have no self-dignity. They have no self-respect. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care what color you are. They don't care. They just go out and pretend that color matters. Coach was right about another thing. Social construct, it is no more. It's a demonic war of attrition. You have these people, Donald Trump, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, all these people think they are gods. And in Deuteronomy, it says, thou shalt not have no other gods before me.
That's right.
Thou shalt not worship no graven images. So no gods before me? Why does Trump think of himself as a god then? Why does Elon Musk think of himself as a god then? Why do y'all think? Why do you think at these Republican conventions, they're flooding Grindr and they're worshiping a golden statue of Trump? Does that sound like they're worshiping God to you? No, they're not worshiping God. They could care less about God. God only makes them sound like they're good people. They are not good people. They're not. They're not good people. They're not. They're not. They are not. They never have been. They never have been. These people have taken liberties on children, torturing, raping, molesting, manipulating. They took a whole bunch. Y'all notice the whole common trend in all these victims? They all come from poor backgrounds. They're white. Jeffrey Epstein didn't like black people. Just so y'all know, he didn't like black people.
That's right.
He didn't. See, the thing is, the Epstein list is nothing more but a visual observance of what slavery was in America. It's the same thing that happened on breeding farms that they don't want to talk about.
Come on.
It's the same thing that happened on plantations that they don't want to talk about, that they want to hide from history. It's the same exact thing, carbon copy. There is nothing new under the sun, as the old people once said. There's nothing new under the sun. These people have used white women to stand on the front line to carry the lie of white patriarchy. That's why you have a Christy Nome who would rather go around playing dress up, firing people because she don't have her blankie on her plane, having an affair with Corey Lewandowski at the same time while being married. But this is the party of family values, right? Right? Donald Trump has cheated on every last one of his wives. Sat on TV and publicly said if Ivanka wasn't his daughter, perhaps he'd be dating her. Got on Howard Stern's show and said she was a hot piece of ass. I know y'all are fathers in this chat. I know a lot of y'all are fathers in the chat. I know a lot of y'all are fathers in the chat. So tell me this. Would you talk about your daughter in the same manner that Donald Trump has talked about his?
No. Wicked.
I got 3 daughters. I have 3 daughters. 27, 21, and 22. 27, 22, 21. I have 3 daughters, 3 beautiful daughters. I would rather somebody put a bullet between my eyes than me demean my daughters that way. Look at this fucking retard here. Toons boss. Toons, take your goofy ass on. I know who you are. You fucking weirdo. Look, guess what, Toons? Take your dumb ass the fuck on. Bye. Peace. Goodbye. See, the difference between us and you're still trying to make rationalizations of obvious evil people.
Talk to him.
In the scriptures, it says, we war not against flesh and blood, but against spirits and principalities that sit in high places.
That's right.
And then, in the highest place in this country is the office of the White House. And we have one of the most evilest people that we've ever seen in our lifetime sitting there manipulating governments, getting quid pro quo, getting paid for pardons, pardoning the most criminal among us, people who have multiple fraud cases on them. He don't care. Pay him $1 million. You're a free man. Then y'all sit here and try to make an assertion that Donald Trump somehow has a moral compass. I'm still trying to find out where that compass is. Because he lost me at the point where he sat on a couch on The View in front of Barbara Walters and said, if Ivanka was my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Come on. Talk, Trill.
I've never, ever in my lifetime, on 47 years on this planet, I've never one time said that about my daughter in any situation. I would expect, if I ever said that about my daughters, I would expect my wife to put a bullet in my ass. I would hope she would. To be honest with you. To be honest, they would. But don't worry, y'all already know I have context for everything that I say, right? I have context for everything that I say. The Epstein files is nothing but a mirror into what happened on breeding farms in yesteryear. Don't worry, here's proof.
They've shown us every plantation with cotton on it. You know what plantation they've never shown us, Abby? The most prominent ones, the ones that were most profitable, the breeding plantations. Why don't you want to show us those? You know why? Because after the research that I did for this album, you realize that the moment that a girl menstruated, she was put in a stable where a horse would be and forcibly mated, forcibly raped by a male of the slave master's choice. And when she had children, they weren't called children, they were called a litter of pups. The punishment for raping or killing a person in medieval Spain is gelding. Gelding is when you take hot pincers and you take a man's balls and dick off root and stem. Killing a person, law of the Bible, right? Medieval Spain, super religious. You killed a man, he should be killed. Why were indigenous and black people categorized as subhuman? So under the law, you would not be punished for the things that you did to us. That's why. You used to be proud, right? Used to be proud, white America, of rape and murder. Used to be proud of colonization. Used to, wow, that made us tough. And then you got ashamed. And that's what you're dealing with. That's what America's dealing with, a schizophrenic crisis. There's a British manual, right, that was taken out of the British Museum because within the manual, it talked about how rape was a weapon of war that should be used against the indigenous population. You're ashamed of that now. You're ashamed, right? Who was Christopher Columbus? His image has been so whitewashed, but he was trafficking little girls on an island. Who does that sound like, huh?
Again. 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 Once again.
Come on.
Once again, there is nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. The same thing that Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and whatever weirdo that was on that island partaking in that weirdness they were doing, they done this already on breeding farms against people who look like me. They forcibly raped black men who they perceived to be stronger than them to break the will of that so-called buck. That's what they called them. They broke the will of their strongest because it'll send a message. Trauma sends a message. Oh, we better not turn against master. Well, this could be me. It's the same thing going on right now with white people. Back in the day when white abolitionists were trying to work beside black people for them to gain their freedom and gain the right to be treated like human beings. What happened to those white abolitionists? The story in Opelousas, Louisiana, a white school teacher was terrified. There's been stories of white people being lynched because they stood beside black people. There's stories of white women getting shot in the head while they drove away trying to protect black lives. They use fear to keep y'all in line. They use fear to keep you in line. That's why most of y'all feel like it's a threat when somebody talks to y'all and tells y'all, hey, amen, amen, amen. This right here is egregious. Shout out to my brother Coach, man. He had to step away. He had to step out. Salute to my brother, man. It's always a pleasure when he comes up here and cook. They quite literally have been using y'all. White women, they have been using y'all. They've been using y'all for the absolute longest. They have. They've been sexualizing young girls, young white girls. Donald Trump has a history of sexualizing young white girls. There was a 17-year-old at some conference he was at. Because she looked attractive, he called her up on stage and sexualized her right then and there. Meanwhile, I want y'all to notice a trend in this though. Y'all tell me what y'all know is that's the common thread in this. I want y'all to look at this. I'm gonna let this thing keep playing. Y'all tell me what y'all see that's the common thing is in this picture. Look at them. Look at every single one of these people. Cam, how you doing, Queen? Look at every last one of these pieces of shit scrolling across on this window, on this screen. Who is this? What do they all have in common? What do they all have in common? Kev, what's up, family? What do they have in common? They're all white. Oh, I like how y'all like to come in here and say, oh man, see, I don't know why Joe Biden didn't release the files. Well, you should be asking the same questions about George W. Bush, Bill Clinton. Why didn't Bill Clinton release the files? Why didn't Merrick Garland release the files? Because all of them are white. They're all protecting whiteness. Scorpio the Slim Fella, what's up, family? They're all white men. What did I tell y'all last Sunday? America has to get rid of its dependency on these corrupt, mediocre, ill-informed, unintelligent, mediocre white men. It is time for it. It's time for y'all to have a seat. Time for somebody else to run this country. It's time for us to scrap the Constitution. It's time for us to rewrite it so it reflects everybody instead of just white men. White men are the most protected demographic in this country. Always have been, always will be. They are the only demographic that never had to fight for not one single fucking right since they've been here. Not one. Name one right a white man ever had to fight for. Name one. Name one period in American history where white men were oppressed. Name one. Look at this fucking dumbass. What about the white on white rapes of white girls? How about that? You don't want to talk about that, huh, Krebs? You don't want to talk about that, huh? You don't. Let's talk about all the pandemic of white men molesting little kids. Let's talk about that. What about black on black crime? What about black on black crime? Let's talk about white on white crime then. Let's talk about how white men make up, 93% of all molestations that happen to anybody in this country happen by men. Of that 93, 75% of them happen from white men. Now let's talk then, dude. Let's talk, Krebs. Let's have a conversation. Because y'all never want to talk about that reflection looking back at y'all in the mirror. You never want to have a conversation about your problem with little kids and your obsession with raping little girls. Let's talk. Let's talk. I guarantee you won't talk about that. Let's talk about the majority of rapes happen at the hands of white men. Let's talk about that. And you know who their victims are? Big crimes are committed in proximity to one another, right? Oh, you talk about black on black crime. That's because black people live amongst black people. Let's talk about white people. Why can't y'all ever have conversations about white failure? Why can't you never talk about it? What are y'all scared of? What about black on black crime? How does black on black crime affect your white ass? How does black on black crime affect white people? It says it in the title, right? Y'all love coming in here using that bullshit, black on black. That means black people are offending other black people. So where in the fuck does that correlate to white people then? Where does that come in at? So white people ain't committing no fucking crimes. That's what you telling me. White people ain't committing no fucking crimes at all, right? Right? They ain't committing no crimes. It's time for everyone to go home. We as the indigenous Americans have had enough. Well, go tell them then. Go tell them white folks that. You talking to the wrong one, homie. We didn't ask to come here. We got stolen. Thank you very much. And the Moors were here before your monkey ass. So there's that. You're from Serbia, homie. Let's talk about real history here. Since y'all love trying to be the perpetual super victims in this country, let's talk about it. The Moors were here first. You gonna talk about the Afro Native Americans? Y'all gonna talk about that? No, you're not. Whoops. I'm not here to play oppression Olympics with nobody. I'm here for the facts. That is it. That is all. Tell me why America won't never let black people go. Marcus Garvey came to America, came to New York. Came to New York, and he tried to liberate enslaved Africans here in this country. And what did the white demons do to him? They murdered him. A Klansman murdered him in his front yard because he had 3 ships that he was trying to ship our black asses back home. But no, y'all wouldn't let us go. How come every time y'all talk about black people being victims of this, every time we try to get the fuck away from y'all, y'all always bring y'all flat ass, thin lipped ass over into our space to violate us? Why can't y'all leave us the fuck alone? Sounds like an obsession to me. You've had every advantage there is to have in a game, and you're still losing. Y'all are trying to pass the SAVE Act that's going to fuck y'all up. Does Trump realize that his broke ass delegation ain't going to be able to afford those fucking proofs of ID that they claim that everybody's supposed to have? Does he know that? Does he? Does he know that? No, Marcus Garvey was murdered in his front yard. He was shot by a Klansman. He was shot by a racist piece of shit that was jealous of this man's voice. Just like Fred Hampton was murdered in his sleep because of his voice. But it's sad because white Americans never want to take responsibility for bullshit they do. They never want to take responsibility for that. They never want to take responsibility for the shit that they do. They never want to take responsibility at all. They don't. They can't. So sounds like a good idea, decolonizer. But hey, we ain't about you talking to the wrong people. You need to go find them white folks. You on here in the wrong conversation, homie. You in the wrong conversation. This ain't got nothing to do with black folks. We're not the ones out here violating your people. We didn't do it. You need to be talking to the white folks. It's time for everybody to leave, but you won't go talk to the bullies that put you in the place you in right now. Why can't y'all ever have conversations with the devils that bothered y'all? Why y'all always try to come in black spaces and tell black people what they need to do? Go talk to them fucking white people who fucking gave y'all smallpox. Go talk to them white people that killed your buffalo so y'all could starve. Go talk to their ass. Why can't y'all ever have a conversation with the fucking bullies? Oh, because y'all perceive black people as weak. Y'all are fucking goofball. See, the problem with that is we got too many people like me that's out here roaming around, speaking truth to bullshit. You got too many people like me that got a brain that works, that do research, that can show you with documentation that what you just said is some lies, with some bullshit, and that you're over here trying to garner sympathy, trying to play the oppression Olympics with the most oppressed people in this fucking country. There has not been another demographic that has been treated worse than black people in America, period. But why is it that every time black people tell you about real life shit that happened to us, we're the victims then? We're playing the race card. Oh, we're lazy. We didn't become lazy until we stopped working for free. That's wild, ain't it? That's wild that black people we're lazy, we're uneducated, but y'all discriminated us and kept us from going to school. Ruby Bridges literally had to be escorted to school with the National fucking Guard, and y'all say we're low IQ while simultaneously keeping us out of school. Now tell me, does that not sound like a fucking mental illness, or does that sound like a mental illness? You shut down the Dunbar School because they were putting out more scientists, politicians, doctors, lawyers than any white school in this country. But we're see, black people, we're low IQ though, according to these fucking wall crawlers. Tell me that white supremacy ain't a fucking mental illness. These people, tell me what human being would believe that somehow because you're less melanated than me, that somehow gives you more IQ than me. Oh, black people are, you got low IQ, Will. You're low IQ. Black people are low IQ. Then why do black women make up the biggest demographic of people graduating from college with more degrees? Why are black people getting more entrepreneurships and starting their own businesses and being successful at it than white people? Why? You know why? Because you are afraid of what comes back in the mirror. You don't want to look at it. No, you don't want to look at it. You don't want to look at it. You want us to sit up here and play humbug with y'all. You want us to be good docile niggas and put our hat in our chest and say, master, I didn't mean to be better than you, master. So y'all send out a Jason Whitlock, or y'all send out y'all favorite coon, Stephen L. Smith. Stephen A. Smith will come out here shucking and jiving and buck dancing and gyrating for you good old white folks. He'll come out here selling his soul. Don't know what the fuck he talking about. Oh, the blacks. Oh, Jasmine Crockett, she's intelligent, but she needs to shut up. She sounds ghetto. Shut your bitch ass up, man. Don't even know what you talking about. You go after Joy Reid, Ketanji Brown Jackson. They send their favorite nigga to go out here and attack black folks. And then play victim when those same people that he attacked come back with a vengeance and school his stupid ass. They use these same Stambos doing the same thing. Oh, he did? Oh, yeah, that is right. He left. Hold on, Shelton. Let me Google something real quick, dog. Hold on. Let me Google something. Who was that got shot in their front yard? That Trump and them trying. Let's see. Marcus Garvey. Let's see. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. You're right, Sheldon. Who was that got killed in the front yard? Let me find. Medgar Evers, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting Marcus Garvey and Medgar Evers confused. I'm sorry, y'all. Medgar Evers got killed by a fucking Klansman, Trump and them over there trying to protect that fucking Klansman piece of shit. Marcus Garvey fled the country because they wrote an article about him. I just researched it, Sheldon. I'm sorry. My bad, y'all. See, I'm capable of damn correcting myself. Shit. I got both of them confused. There's so many great black leaders in our time. Medgar Evers was the one that got murdered by a Klansman in his front yard. John Pate, what's up, family? My brother Mansa Musa. Mare, how you doing? Medgar Evers was the one that got murdered by a Klansman racist piece of shit. Marcus Garvey fled to the UK and he died from heart problems. Yeah, y'all right. See? You see how easy that was? But guess what? Sheldon sent me a good old video. I want y'all to watch this shit. Y'all to see this fucking white passing closet homosexual right here. Hold on, dog.
White passing Hall of Fame would like to recognize J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI from 1930 to 1972, one of the most powerful people in America during that period. When you look at a picture like this, how could this man have passed? People been asking this question for years. One of his cousins even wrote a book about it. Shout out to Millie McGee. Hoover made it his mission as the leader of the FBI to disrupt, discredit, and destroy Black liberation movements.
Self-hate.
This man wiretapped Dr. Martin Luther King and tried to ruin his image. He's the man behind COINTELPRO, which was devastating for the Black Panthers. When we talk about institutional racism, this is one of the people who created and perpetuated that system, who used the FBI to make life harder for Black people. Meanwhile, he was one of us. Millie says her grandfather, Big Daddy, told her Hoover was passing for white. He was Hoover's second cousin, so he knew the family. He also told her, don't say anything. This man could kill us. They say Hoover's paternal grandfather lived in the Black area of DC when it was segregated. This is one of the wildest stories in the history of white passing. He uses the power he gets from passing to attack Black people and Black liberation relentlessly. Perhaps his attack on Black people was tied to his repressed something, because Hoover was hiding a lot of secrets. Meet Clyde Tolson. Tolson was number 2 at the FBI throughout Hoover's reign. Like Hoover, he never married, he never had a girlfriend, and these two went to work together, went home from work together, had lunch and dinner, went to nightclubs, went on vacations together, went on Christmas vacation together to Florida every year. But no, nothing was happening. Oh, look, they dressed in the same outfit. I could see the appeal. This photo's like a smoking gun.
What?
When Hoover died, he bequeathed his entire estate to his boyfriend, to Tolson. Tolson then moved into Hoover's house and accepted the flag that had draped over his coffin, like a good widow. And now these two are buried side by side. So I guess J. Edgar Hoover's in the white passing Hall of Fame and in the closeted Hall of Fame.
Damn.
The white.
Damn.
Why are you gay?
Why are you? Brother,
Brother,
what's that,
what's
brother?
that? What's that, brother?
The self-hate is real. Shit. Yeah. It sounds like the Republican Party of the day on it. Sound just like it, don't it? Sound just like it. Sounds just like it. Just like it. Sounds just like it, don't it? Back to cooking these fucking clowns. Back to cooking these fucking clowns. Back to cooking these clowns. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. Now, let's go here.
Crow didn't start with the KKK. It started on a stage. In the 1830s, a white entertainer named Thomas D. Rice performed in blackface, mocking black Americans in an act called Jim Crow. The act mocked the black community, inferring them as monkeys.
Sounds familiar, don't it? Sounds familiar, don't it? Yeah.
The character became popular and the name spread. After the Civil War, the caricature was repurposed as the label for segregation laws. Jim Crow wasn't created by lawmakers or born from policy, but from funny, jokey entertainment that turned into normalized prejudice. Follow History in 60 for more
Black people commit a majority of the crime. It's in the statistics. People say this dumbass shit with confidence and with smugness, like numbers exist in a vacuum. Like statistics just fell out of the sky with no history, no context, and no hand shaping them. Why does that crime exist in the first place? You don't get to point at an outcome and ignore the conditions that produced it. If you want to talk about crime, buddy, you have to talk about environment, you have to talk about access, you have to talk about policy, you have to talk about systemic failure and systemic intentions. You have to talk about who had options and who never did. Crime does not grow out of skin color. Crime grows where opportunity is starved. So if you want to say that black people commit a majority of the crimes, then what was the ethnicity of the people on Epstein's island? Oops. Oh, wait.
Whoops.
What were the ethnicities of most of those people fucking kids? I know some people are going to say, what, Jay-Z, Pusha T? Shut the fuck up. I'm talking about the majority of people there. Oh, okay. Like I said, man, you don't get generations of redlining, blocked wealth, segregation, stolen land, lynching, rape, murder, stolen labor, stolen dignity, stolen memory, and then act shocked when the consequences show up in numbers you don't like. Entire neighborhoods were designed to fail. Not accidentally, not naturally, intentionally. Schools were underfunded, jobs moved out, banks refusing loans, homes devalued on purpose, police over patrolling instead of protecting, prisons waiting like a conveyor belt, and then the same fucking system turns around and has the fucking stupid ass audacity to say, see, look at the crime. No, that's a setup. That is not the truth. That is a fucking setup right then and there. People love statistics when they absolve them of empathy. They hate history when it explains those statistics. And I'm gonna be real, crime is not exclusive to black communities. White collar crime steals far more money, far more innocence, far more lives, and destroys far more lives and destabilizes entire communities. Right. But it does not get framed the same way because it wears suits instead of hoodies and ski masks. Nobody calls poverty a crime factory when it hits white communities. Nobody calls addiction a moral failure when it looks like them. Nope. Nobody calls desperation culture when it benefits them. And no, this is not about excusing crime. This is about understanding cause instead of worshiping consequence. Because if you actually cared about reducing crime, you would not be obsessed with blaming black people. You would be obsessed with fixing the conditions that make crime a rational survival response. You would talk about education that is not designed to warehouse kids. You would talk about economic mobility that is not blocked by zip code. You would talk about mental health support that does not require money people don't have. You would talk about community investment instead of constant punishment, but that would require admitting the system failed, and more importantly, that it failed on purpose. So when people say, it's just statistics, what they're really saying is, I don't want to look at what created those numbers, because once you do, you can't unsee it. And once you see it, you're responsible. That's the part people are running from. And before anybody twists this into making excuses, let me be clear. Understanding the root is not the same as removing accountability. People are still responsible for their actions. I'm sorry, it's true. But systems are responsible for the conditions they create. Two things can be true at the same time.
Facts.
Accountability without context becomes cruelty.
Facts.
Context without accountability becomes chaos. Real change lives in the uncomfortable middle, where we stop lying about why things look the way they do and actually fix what we broke. Black people.
And to piggyback off what my man just said, let's talk about the statistics of white suicides among farmers right now. Let's talk about that. Ain't causation of white suicides among farmers that rose 45% since Trump took office the second time? Wouldn't the cause be Trump's tariffs, bankrupting these farmers, the cancellation and erasure of USAID, right? Meanwhile, USAID, they're using the money from USAID right now. The guy from Russell Voigt is using the money from AID to finance his own dreams, right? Right? He's using $15 million of USAID money to fund his own private security detail. Don't worry. Trill Will got receipts. Callie, what's up, family? Trill Will got receipts. Money that was going to fighting hunger and HIV, using our soft power to maintain our superpower capabilities on the globe stage. Now he's taking that money and using it for himself, just like the good old white demon that we know they are. When America's going to figure out one day, when y'all figure it out, that America needs to get rid of their dependency on white men, then we will move. America, for the first time in its history, will be great. America, for the first time in its history, will be great. Can't blame the niggas no more. You can't blame the coloreds. You can't blame the Latinos. Russell Voigt, who is one of the authors of Project 2025, is using the destruction of USAID to benefit himself. It's like Trump is using the office of the White House to benefit himself. There's no accountability for none of these people out here obviously committing crimes. But these are supposed to be the people of law and order, right? They said they were law and order. That's what they told us. That's what they told you. That's what they keep telling y'all. They keep telling y'all, oh man, see, man, we love accountability. Congress ain't did shit. Congress ain't gonna do shit. Congress could care less. They could care fucking less. They could care less. They could care less. They do not care. They could care less. My brother Freedom's March just creeped in. I didn't see you a while ago, Brody. Salute to you, family. Hey, Bennies. Hope you feeling better, lady. See, y'all starting to see this whole thing. The problem is the whole issue with these Epstein files. The Epstein files is revealing the real America. White men have been using white women to do their bidding, to stand in front of the bullets when their failures become present. White men have been blaming everybody, especially their favorite black people, They've been blaming them for failures of job creation, of the economy, of their failed wars. The whole nine. They've been blaming us for generations. Our politicians are blackmailed, compromised, whatever you want to call it, by Israel and Russia. By Israel and Russia. They have all kinds of dirt on these people. And they don't care. Why do y'all think that Congress have not held these people accountable? Because the Epstein files are a representation of white America and what white America has always been. You have a hierarchy where all these people who have money and prestige are above the law and don't have to adhere to the same laws that your broke ass has to adhere to. Y'all are consistently following the law that these same people are breaking the law right here in real time. Donald Trump, if this was Barack Obama, do you think he'd get away with funneling billions of dollars to himself? Do you think that Barack Obama would get away with pardoning the criminals that owes billions of dollars in restitution? Do you think he'd get away with it? There you go. $500 million of Venezuelan oil gone into a private offshore account for Donald Trump. The only person on the domestic terrorist party, the only person that is over there doing any kind of fighting is Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is the only person on the domestic terrorist party that is actually doing some work. Michael, what's up, family? How you feel today, man? He's the only one that is over there trying to get accountability for these babies who were raped, some who were killed, some who live with PTSD and trauma. He's the only one that is over there trying to get accountability for these babies. And I call them babies because they were kids when they were assaulted. Chrisms, that's absolutely right. If it had been black people going to the Capitol on Jan 6, 2021, would we be telling the same story? Y'all think about it. All of this stuff that Donald Trump is doing, all of this corruption that's oozing out of this White House, do y'all think so one of us would have got away with that? All this, just look at it. Pam Bondi literally sat in front of the victims, the survivors of Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. She quite literally sat there in front of a crowd of women, and they literally stood behind her, and she said nothing to them. Nothing. 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 This ain't just the Epstein files. This is the Epstein and Donald Trump files. That's what this is. Bill Gates, another one. Everybody, his wife is going all over podcasts talking about how terrible this piece of shit was. Billionaires, the billionaire class, must be taxed out of existence. Out of existence. Why do y'all think none of these people have been taken to an account for their evil crimes against these babies? Right now, we're living in history right now. There's 11 people in Donald Trump's cabinet right now that have ties to Jeffrey Epstein. I just have a question for the good old racists that love protecting pedophiles in my chat. I got one for you. If the picture on top proves that Donald Trump's not a racist, then he's beside Jesse Jackson, Don King, and Muhammad Ali, then what does that bottom picture with him, with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell prove? And his horrible wife. What does that prove? Why do these fucking Republicans keep coming back talking about, well, Bill Clinton's in the files too? What chipper to him? We do not care. Send his ass to the wood chipper too. Send him to the wood chipper too. We need to tax billionaires out of existence in this country. There's no reason for us to have billionaires here. There's no reason. When we have homeless people, people strung out on drugs, people can't even live in this country, struggling to pay their rent, mortgage, and grocery bills, and light bill. My light bill for next month is damn near $500, and I have not changed shit in my house. My light bill for next month is almost $500, and we haven't changed anything in our house. We've done the same thing, and our bill yet steadily inclines every single month. I asked this question a few months ago. Would I trade places with Jeffrey Epstein, or would I trade places with Elon Musk, or will I trade places with Donald Trump? My answer to that is fuck no, I wouldn't. I would rather live my life that I live right now than be any one of those pieces of shit. You know why? No amount of money in the world can make you a good person. No amount of money in the world can make you have good character. No amount of money in the world can prove that you are a decent human or have a moral compass. Meanwhile, Donald Trump proves it every day that he's a worthless piece of shit. The Epstein class proves it in these files that they ain't shit. Edward, you are absolutely right. When you have so much money that you can buy anything, you want what you can't have. This is exactly what they are. And that's the reason why the scriptures say the love of money is the root of all evil. And you're seeing it. Donald Trump's love for money means he will sell this country for parts and rule over the ashes. He would sell this country to the highest bidder and would not care. Would not care. Wouldn't care at all. Don't worry, Dinks. Retribution is coming, homie. Don't worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. There is causation is the reason why we are where we are now. Gotta disrupt some more lies. Because y'all know, more lies being told. Donald Trump was the whistleblower on Epstein, so they said.
So this video is for anyone who's seeing mega content creators claim that Trump was a whistleblower against Epstein for a phone call that he made to the Palm Beach police in 2006. And we need to talk about a very specific timeline here. And first things first, it should be noted that Trump made this call to that police chief in July 2006 and said on the call, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everyone has known he's been doing this." Now that sounds a lot like Epstein had already been arrested, and there's good reason for that too. Because as you can see here, in March 2005, Palm Beach police began investigating Epstein after the family of a 14-year-old girl had reported him. And then multiple underage girls came forward, many of them in high school, that told similar stories about Epstein's illegal behavior. But down here in July 2006, when Epstein was finally arrested, a grand jury indicted him. And then in 2007, federal prosecutors took over the case, and a guy named Alex Acosta reduced it down to one minor charge that put Epstein in jail for 18 months. But Epstein served most of his sentence in a work release program that actually allowed him to leave jail during the day. So did Alex Acosta spend the rest of his life in infamy for letting one of the most notorious child sex traffickers off easy? Nope, because in the early days of Trump's first term as president, he actually named Alex Acosta to his cabinet to be Secretary of Labor. But when Epstein was rearrested in July of 2019, Alex Acosta's sleazy deal came under scrutiny, and he was forced to resign from Donald Trump's administration. But during this press conference outside the White House, Donald Trump was asked, did he suspect Jeffrey Epstein of molesting young girls when they used to be friends? And he said this.
No, I had no idea.
Hey, Brendan, shut your
I
bitch
had
ass
no idea.
up.
I haven't spoken to him in many, many years, but I did have no idea.
Shut your bitch ass
So
up.
does this
Brendan.
sound like the same Donald Trump that in 2006 called the Palm Beach police and said everyone knows what Jeffrey Epstein is up to? That's weird, huh? But it doesn't end there. Let's remember what Donald Trump said on that phone call with the Palm Beach police in July 2006 about Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump said that Maxwell was Epstein's operative. She is evil, and to focus on her. But just like with Epstein, when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested in June of 2020, Trump had this to say.
Do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
So just to recap, when Trump was having private conversations in 2006 about Jeffrey Epstein, he says everyone has known he's been doing this. And when he mentions Ghislaine Maxwell, he says she is evil. But over here in 2019 and 2020, when statements like that could make these two angry, he says, I had no idea about Jeffrey Epstein, and I wish her well about Ghislaine Maxwell. So what do you guys think? Why would Trump change his story from this to this?
And white women, come to the front of the class real quick. I gotta tell y'all something. Come here, I gotta tell y'all something. Y'all, come here. Y'all ain't gonna like this. You're not gonna like this. You're not gonna like this, white women. You're not gonna like Don't worry about it being loco. You won't see no more comments from that ass. Don't worry. Well, nobody come in here disrespecting Benny Loco. You will not. You will be shown the door. Goodbye. Good night. Good night.
Where the white women at?
Come on down to the front of the class. I want y'all to know something. Hear me well when I say this. The only person that has been held somewhat accountable for the molestation, rape, torture, killing, unaliving, whatever you want to call it, in these Epstein files is a white woman named Ghislaine Maxwell that's sitting in prison right now. Let that sizzle in your spirit for a second. I'm going to say it one more time for the ones in the back. The only person that's been held somewhat accountable in the regards to these Epstein files, these Epstein Trump files, is a white woman.
You need to leave.
I'm gonna say it one more time for the ones just joining. The only one that was held any kind of accountability has been held, has been tried in a jury of her peers, is a white woman named Ghislaine Maxwell. Why haven't any white men been held accountable? Anybody? They're gonna get quiet after this one, Jack. They're gonna get quiet after this one. Benny Loco, this is my Sunday best. I just took my jacket off. And then I'll make this public service announcement. There will be no disrespect of Benny Loco in my chat. Or you deal with me. And you don't want to deal with me. Again, this raggedy administration is using white women as the buffer to insulate them from accountability from their evil actions. Molestation of kids, stealing money, running the government into the ground, running the economy into the ground, raising prices for all of us. Every bit of the bullshit that comes with it, they're using white women as the forefront. They're the front line. They're the first one slaughtered when everything falls down. My brother Drew Titan used a term that I'm very familiar with: in concert. White women are being used in concert with white patriarchy, just like they did during the suffrage movement, just like they did during the emancipation of Africans from slavery. Same thing. They are standing right there, lockstep in front line. That's why Kristi Noem is doing the bullshit she's doing. That's why Pam Bondi is doing the bullshit she's doing. They're using you to do it. That's why Megyn Kelly's using her platform to defend pedophilia. That's why they're sending out Jillian Michaels. They're sending out Amerikkka Kirk. They're sending out all the white women to sit right there on the front line to get knocked the fuck down when reality sets in. Because truth be told, poor white people are being tired of being abused, finally, of this bullshit white supremacist patriarchal system. They are tired of it. And black people have been tired of this shit. They've been trying to do everything they can to get black people in these streets so they can enact martial law, so Donald Trump can try to steal another election like he did the 2024 one. Free my grandma. Salute, man. Y'all smash the like button and stuff. This is what they're trying to do. This is what their MO is. This is why they're doing what they're doing. This is why they're moving the way they are. They're moving the way they are because they can use white women. White women think they have access to the white patriarchal system, and they don't. Because as soon as they serve their purpose, they're out of the way. Just as soon as they serve their purpose, it's back to the kitchen you go. Back to the kitchen. Yep, he's finna pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Sure is. He finna pardon her. Best believe it. He ain't got no choice. The only person that's still living and breathing on this earth that has any kind of real knowledge on what Trump did, his evilness, and all the people involved, was the one who groomed those girls, Ghislaine Maxwell. And she will bring this bill. You know, that white woman, that single white woman has the power to bring this whole thing down. And I got a question for those Trumpers that keep trying to say Trump was vindicated. So why is he trying to hide the files? Why is Marjorie Taylor Greene saying Donald Trump is the one that fought the hardest to stop these files from being released then? See, when it comes to like real questions and shit like that, these motherfuckers they don't care about facts. They don't care about facts. They care about optics. They don't care about facts. They don't give a damn about facts. But don't worry, there's more proof Trump's a pedophile, though.
We've spoken to a number of sources who saw Donald Trump at the parties. Most paint a similar picture.
Just describe to us the way Donald Trump behaved at these parties.
I mean, this guy it was like a predator in action.
I went to the washroom and I was going in and a girl was coming out and she kind of looked at me and I go, have you talked to that Trump guy? And she goes, yeah, as I was walking by, he's like trying to grab my ass.
We do know that he was having sex with them.
How do you know that?
Because the next day or days after we would hear about it, he'd brag about it to his friends and it would get around that he scored, maybe one or two girls at a time, which is what he loved to do.
There's no evidence that Donald Trump slept with underage girls. But what's most shocking is the age of some of the models at the parties.
There was girls, I would say 14, 15 years old from Europe, the European girls.
They were 14 or 15?
There were girls that were 14, 15 years old, for sure. I mean, I didn't run up and say, how old are you? But they looked younger than I was, and I was 17. You just knew because of what they were wearing and how they would hold themselves.
And these girls are all like, anywhere from 14, 15, 16 years old. There was very few girls above the age of 19 there.
And you saw Donald Trump with these girls who were that young, 15, 16?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they're standing around with them, ogling them.
It was just disgusting. I felt like I was in the presence of a shark getting ready to roll his eyes back in his head and bite me. That's how I felt. It was just like, get the hell out of here.
We've spoken to a number of...
See? How much more proof do you need? That's my question. And I heard that commentator say there's no proof Donald Trump slept with underage girls. Yes, there is. The Epstein file, the Trump Epstein files. There's more proof in there than anything. Y'all remember when I told y'all that Donald Trump made suicides with white farmers go up through the roof? There you go. Bankruptcies rose 46% in 2025. The last time bankruptcy was this high was when Trump was president the first time, 2020. There you go, right there. There you go, right there in your face. There you go, right there in your face. How much more proof do y'all need? Because I got receipts for days. I keep receipts.
What is white culture?
And why do white people who live in settler colonies like America, South Africa, and Australia feel the need to protect whiteness?
Think about white identity. So tell me the values that stitch together white identity and that make it different than black identity.
I would say that the white church is very different than the black church in terms of its tone and style on average. Foodways could often be different.
And those
music could be different.
Those are being erased.
Music could be different. Well, if you look at the Super Bowl halftime show, which was not in English this year.
So our ability to access white churches or white food or white music is being erased?
I am concerned with the majority common American culture that we had for some time that through particularly mass immigration, I think has become much more balkanized. And I think that weakens us.
We have seen a rise in right-wing fascism around the world. And it's not only in America, but America seems to be spearheading this movement of white people feeling like the great replacement is happening and that they are being persecuted and that something like racism against white people can be real. I say often that white people are some of the most delusional people on earth, and that's only because they are the victors in the story of colonization. And post-colonial world is the modern world, and they've written themselves as benevolent, as democratic, as modern. Meanwhile, they've ignored all the atrocities they've done, all the land they've stolen, all the genocide they've done, all the slavery they've done, and all the forced assimilation of colonized people that they have bestowed upon us, telling us that we're savage, we're dirty, we're not the actual citizens of the countries they've created, and that they are the only ones who belong.
Why do you think it's so hard for us as white people to come out and say, hey, we want to protect our culture because we do have culture and we're being displaced and we're afraid of the future? So,
I mean, it's like you could any other race can say it, right? But the second white people say it, it's you're a Nazi, you're a fascist, white supremacist. And it's just because of, who's running everything. I mean, they want white people to hate themselves, and you're not even allowed to say anti-white racism. They don't allow us to act like that's a real thing, even though a lot of the times that is the most prevalent type of racism.
White people in these settler colonies, especially America, gave away their ethnicities, gave away their cultures, gave away their identities to be a part of whiteness. And that whiteness was centered in religion. And, that's where we get evangelical Christianity, and whiteness in America became a thing. There is no such thing as white culture. You can be Scots-Irish, you can be Irish, you can be Italian, you can be Polish, you can be German, you can be French, but there's no such thing as white culture. And if you break down what whiteness means in this land, in all of the settler colonies, it's a history of rape, pillaging, robbery, theft, slavery, oppression. That's what white culture summarizes to. So I want you guys to think long and hard about what you think you're protecting and what you think you're talking about versus the reality of what you're protecting and the reality of what you're talking about.
I've got to say though to you Americans, the Trump effect ended up working around all the Western countries. Donald basically gave the wave to people to say, all of us are connected to the Western countries. We're all European descent, and we're going to speak up and say, we built England, Canada, Australia, America. It belongs to us, the European descent. We found the land, we built the land. And I thank you from my heart.
So when we have a president like Donald Trump that is not only inspiring Americans, but inspiring people around the world to be white supremacists, what does that mean for them? We have returned to a place that is akin to 1940s, 1950s, where it was okay for people to be white supremacists publicly because that was the general sentiments within the culture, the larger, the broader culture, and around the world in terms of colonization and the subjugated people under that colonial system. Well, in 2026, we live in a time where we've all fought for our freedom. We've all fought for our equal rights. We've all fought for representation, and they don't like it. There is nothing happening to white people. White people control the systems of power, the systems of government, the systems of the economy, and the systems of finance around the world. They make up the minority of the population around the world, but their hands are in everything because, once again, the post-colonial world is the modern world, and they are the victors in that system. Especially when it comes to places like America, they fear having to share space, but we are commanding space. We are not allowing them to tell us that we don't belong in a country that we've built, and we were brought here forcibly and forced to be United States citizens.
Facts.
I only exist in the capacity that I exist in because of colonization and slavery on both sides of my family. I would not exist. I would not be speaking this language. I would not speak any of the languages I speak if not for the work of your ancestors.
Thank you.
And it's always so rich coming from them when they say things like Black culture is this, and oh, you guys made it okay. I'm not gonna feel sorry about saying everything isn't racist. You are racist because inherently your culture is built on racism.
I will never be racist. Some cultures are better than others. Morally, they're more successful, and that's not a race thing, that's a cultural thing. And what happens is people associate different races with different cultures.
What is white culture? And why do white people who live in settler colonies like America, South Africa, and Australia feel the need to protect whiteness?
Think about white identity. So tell me the value.
I felt like y'all needed to hear that. I felt like y'all needed to hear that. I felt like y'all really needed to hear that. Because he said, everything he said in that video is absolutely true. I would not exist had it not been for slavery. I would not exist had it not been for slavery. Shout out to Brian Tyler Cohen, and he had the man, Donald Trump, the thorn in his side, on his show. But check this out.
Days ago, Donald Trump put a picture of your face on an ape's body. And so again, this is kind of, we've seen the de-evolution of the discourse. How do we come back from a place that we have fallen into?
Well, first of all, I think it's important to recognize that the majority of the American people find this behavior deeply troubling. It is true that it gets attention. It's true that it's a distraction.
Yep.
But as I'm traveling around the country, as you're traveling around the country, you meet people. They still believe in decency, courtesy, kindness, and there's this sort of clown show that's happening in social media and on television. And what is true is that
just days ago,
there doesn't seem to be any shame about this among people who used to feel like you had to have some sort of decorum and a sense of propriety.
See, I just wanted y'all to hear him talk. That's what Donald Trump is jealous of. He doesn't have the extinct vernacular. He doesn't have the intelligence. He doesn't have the respect. He doesn't have the accomplishments. He doesn't have anything. He does not have nothing. He is nothing, nowhere near compared to this man, Barack Obama. Barack Obama is everything he wishes he could be. Donald Trump is everything they thought Barack Obama would be when he became president. Donald Trump got all these baby mamas, cheated on all his wives, having sex with porn stars and paying for it under the table, enriching himself, stealing money here, stealing money there. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is the biggest piece of shit in history. He's going to go down in history as the most corrupt, evil, demonic, fucking greedy ass president in the history of this country. He's going to be treated far worse than fucking Richard Nixon was. But guess what? Every last one of you sycophants who was sucking him off, praising him for him being ignorant and stupid, are going to be right there beside him. I do not want my grandkids to grow up thinking that, oh, my grandpa was a coward. He didn't speak out against this shit. My shit is very well documented. How I felt in this moment is very well documented. It's fuck Donald Trump. Fuck Donald Trump now. Fuck Donald Trump 20 years from now. Fuck Charlie Kirk. Fuck you fucking terrorists on the right. Fuck all you fucking Nazis hiding in my chat. Fuck all y'all. And I'm going to speak truth to power until I have no voice anymore. That's where I'm at. And that's where I'll reside. If you want to reside beside me, cool. Cool. I'm accepting applications. I sure am. One thing I will not do is sit here and pretend like Donald Trump ain't what I know he is. Like my brother Shelton said, equality is oppression to a racist. How you respond to equality speaks more about you than it does the one asking for it. See, again, like my brother said on that other video I showed you guys, I wouldn't exist on both sides of my family had it not been for colonization and slavery. I would not be here. You wouldn't know Trill will. I wouldn't speak this language had it not been for colonization and slavery. Period. That is a fact. That is a known fact. The only reason why you see my black ass and I speak English is because my family was stolen. My family was stolen. See, Donald Trump is a pure reflection of what real white patriarchy is. A mediocre system with stems and tricks and all these other shit in place so that white men can feel like they're important. They have to rig the game in order for them to win. You can't win on merit. That's why you have a Pete Hegseth. You don't win on merit. You don't win on merit. You never have. You can't. You had to rig the game. And see, meanwhile, have y'all ever thought about the only reason why people come in here and call me racist? Have y'all ever thought of that? The only reason why they're coming here calling me a racist is because I'm reminding them of who they really are. I'm showing the mirror. I'm the proverbial mirror showing you who you are and what you stand for. And you can't stand it. It bothers you to your soul that I'm so intellectually smart and analytical in my thought process that I can break down and show you what real history with context and receipts, and you absolutely fucking hate it. That's why you call me a racist. I've never caused harm to a white person simply because they were white. I've never said anything disingenuous about white people because they were white. I've never went and violated the space and sanctity of white people because they were right there beside me. I've never done none of that shit. So how can you then call me a racist? How does that even work? How am I a racist for exposing you for what you really are? You are upholding a system that was created to benefit you because of your skin color, while taking away and disregarding and discriminating against other people because your ego is too fragile to share. You're that little selfish ass fucking toddler who don't want to share their toy. You want to hold it all to yourself. You want to keep it to yourself because you think if I get a hold of that toy, I'm going to tear it up. Even though that's not my intentions. My intentions are just to play with that toy, just like you are. Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize because he was a good, decent human being. Donald Trump stole one because he's a piece of shit. They are not the same. Barack Obama is still, despite his flaws, he is still one of the most respected presidents that's ever served in that office. And the reason is because he's a decent human being. I hope she is. She needs to resign any fucking way. She needs to go anyway. She needs to go anyway. They think JD Vance is just gonna swoop in and like take over where Trump left off. No. Their day is coming. Their day is coming. Their day is coming. Trust and believe me when I tell you their day is coming. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, Howard Lutnick, all of these fucking goofballs, their day is coming. Trust me, it's coming. Their day is coming. Their day is coming. They're using all the projections that they can to try to project on the good, decent people. The funniest part of all time is seeing how these grifting ass fucking Republicans go on their web pages and their podcasts and lie and lie and lie and lie some more and lie some more and lie and project. Everything about Trump is fake. When y'all figure that out, that's when y'all gonna see him for what he really is. Again, but I said in this show, Donald Trump has never made as much money as he made grifting from the White House. He's never made this much money before. Why do y'all think he keeps stealing more money? Because he's never had access to this much cash. Ever. Don't worry. Look, white women, I'm going to tell y'all again, they're just using y'all.
Did you know that Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida who let George Zimmerman get away with murdering Trayvon Martin? Did you know Pam Bondi was the AG of Florida who let Casey Anthony get away with murdering her own daughter? Did you know that Pam Bondi was the AG of Florida when Jeffrey Epstein was first arrested and given a sweetheart deal which allowed him to continue ruining the lives of young girls? Pam Bondi's legacy is letting horrible people get away with heinous crimes. She is incompetent and she is evil. Did you know that Pam Bondi was the Attorney General of Florida who let George Zimmerman get away with murder?
Yeah, that's Pam Bondi for you, folks. That's her. That's Pam Bondi. That's Pam Bondi. More videos.
Just in case you were worried that there weren't enough Trump administration officials implicated in the Epstein files, I come bearing good news. Now we know that Dr. Oz had a buddy-buddy relationship with Epstein as well. And I'll give you 3 things about it.
Trump's administrator of Medicare and Medicaid, Dr. Mehmet Oz, appears to have invited Jeffrey Epstein to a Valentine's Day party in 2016. Now, he hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, but that invitation came long after Epstein first pleaded guilty to soliciting sex with underage girls.
Thing number 1, newly unsealed documents from the Virginia Guthrie case reveal that Dr. Mehmet Oz, Trump's pick to lead the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, was a frequent guest at Jeffrey Epstein's Manhattan home. These records place Oz at dinner parties alongside both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. There are also mentions of him in Epstein's infamous Little Black Book, including multiple phone numbers and an email address. Despite his role as a public health figure, Oz was a part of the social circle built on the exploitation of young women and girls. Thing number 2, the Venn diagram of Trump associates and Epstein associates is just a circle. Here is the complete list of Trump's inner circle and cabinet that had their own distinct relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump himself, Melania Trump, Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Howard Lutnick, the current Commerce Secretary, John Phelan, the current Secretary of the Navy, Stephen Feinberg, Deputy Secretary of Defense, Dr. Mehmet Oz, CMS Administrator,
Steve Bannon, former chief strategist, Alex Acosta, former labor secretary, William Barr, former attorney general, Kevin Warsh, his previous Fed nominee, Elon Musk, former Doge director, Tom Barack, longtime friend and donor, Leslie Weaver and Leon Black, both Trump donors. Donald Trump's social circle doesn't intersect with Jeffrey Epstein's social circle. It's the same damn circle. Thing number 3, to those wondering why the wheels of justice are moving slowly to catch up with Trump, it's because he designed it that way. He designed it to insulate himself from prosecution. This has been a deliberate effort to ensure that if the entire network of co-conspirators falls, Trump remains protected. But I want to know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments and follow Major League TV on all platforms.
See? Donald Trump built this system around him so he can protect himself so he can get away with it. Hey, Shelton, you want some good news, though? You want some good news? I'm going to make y'all smile a little bit before I get off here. I'm going to make y'all smile. Yep, free my grandma, I told you. They ate his body. They thought they going to get mystical powers because of how resilient he was. Hey, Shelton, this for you, big dog. This for you, my boy. This is for you, my boy. And this is a real picture, by the way.
What up? What up, what up, what up? Karma is a bitch. And it has shown its beautiful face with Derek Chauvin. So Derek Chauvin has already had a few jabs here, like 22 times, right? And has now become, as you can tell by the pic I have here, has become somebody's prison bitch. Thank you to whoever is doing that. You're a beautiful person. Karma
I want to put money on your books for doing that.
Karma is a bitch, and it's showing its face. And I
want to put
hilarious.
money on their books. That is fucking crazy. Whoever is making Derek Chauvin their bitch, let me put some money on your books. They done made Derek Chauvin a prison bitch. Damn. They done made Derek Chauvin a prison bitch for real. That's crazy work. I want to put some money on I want to bless your books right now, my man. I want to bless your books. Jesus Christ bananas. Ah, yeah. This is the one. This the one right here. This the one. This is the one. This the one. This the one. This the one. That's the one. Listen to this.
You ever realize how Christy Nome looks like she was assembled by a 5-year-old who lost the instructions through the middle of the project and still completed it anyway?
Come on.
But that's beside the point. Anyway, watching her right now feels like watching a slow motion lesson in how white supremacy actually works, especially on the white women who think that they're going to be safe inside of it. Let's be clear. What we're seeing is not just incompetency on display, it's architecture. White supremacy is not just racial hierarchy, it's patriarchal system that uses women as proof of their supposed inclusivity and then discards them the moment that they stop being useful. And Christy Nome is currently somewhere in between the use and the discard phase. And she don't even realize it. She's being propped up and positioned and handed authority that she has not demonstrated the capacity to hold, not because she's qualified, not because she's convenient, but because she's a palatable face, a loyal mouthpiece, and a woman that they can point to and say, see, women have power here, while simultaneously setting her ass up to fail in public. And yes, she looks unprepared because she is unprepared. She looks out of her depth because she's drowning, because she is out of her depth. She looks intellectually thin because she actually is. But what's critical is this, and that it didn't happen by accident. This is what patriarchy does to the women who serve it. It elevates them without equipping them. It places them in roles without protection. It hands them a microphone without giving them the tools to survive the consequences of speaking, because the goal isn't for them to succeed. It is for them to be visible enough to absorb the backlash that should be landing on the men who built this mess. She's not powerful. She is positioned. She is not respected. She is useful. She is not leading. She is being deployed. And that's the part that women like her never clock until it's too late. White supremacy don't love women. It borrows them. It doesn't protect women. It exposes them. It does not elevate women. It weaponizes them. So yes, Christy Noem is ignorant.
Hey, where are the white women at?
Equipped. Yes, she is embarrassing herself in real time, but she is also fulfilling exactly the function of the system that was designed for her, to be a shield, a distraction, a scapegoat, and eventually a spectacle. And she is the crash test dummy in a car that she didn't build, but she didn't design it, but she doesn't control it. Oh wait, there's no good part to that. And the wall is coming, and it's coming down on her fast, because patriarchy always eats its daughters every time. And until y'all white women who side with the patriarchy and the MAGA realize that, I'll wait while all of y'all get a wall. You ever?
Yeah, there it is. There it is. That is right there. That is right there. That is right there.
Hey, where are the white women at?
There it is right there. There it is. Don't worry, there's more. There's I got more. Oh, I got more. I got more. There you go.
I don't know who made this, but I just received this from my sister. It says they hate women so much they set up women for this moment to take their fall. And if that isn't the damn truth, like, they have put all these women in positions and they're just like, pull my string, and they repeat what he tells them to repeat, and they will take the fall. Just like Ghislaine has the only one who has taken the fall. If you do not see what is so clearly in front of you, you're part of it and you don't know it, or you are okay with it. There's no in between. But these women are just regurgitating facts of their own make-believe. Like, their disinformation is being fed to them and they are being told to spew it, and they will fall. They're gonna hold these women accountable, and the men behind them will walk free because they'll see, oh, see, we fixed it. We got rid of the problem. The women were always the problem. Wake up, women in America. There's a reason of all the Epstein crimes that Ghislaine is the only one in jail. Like, it doesn't take, like, I'm not Benson or Stabler, but I can see, what's happening here. And these women are just the next scapegoat. I don't know who made this, but I just received this from my...
Let me add on to what she just said. Let me add on to that. They're not only using those women, they're using sellouts as well. Bootlickers, buck dancers, Sambos, self-hating ass Negroes, self-hating ass Latinos, self-hating ass Asians, all these self-haters of their own communities. They're using them too. Rodney, what's up, family? They're using them too. They're using them too. So when that wall falls on, like my brother Drew says all the time, in concert, these people are going to be the first ones led to slaughter. While Trump and all his other cronies get to skate off into the night, away from accountability, away from getting their comeuppance, away from getting what's due to them. They're going to gladly waltz their asses away, leaving them in the dirt. That is going to be right there. That's going to be right there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't worry. I'm gonna show y'all an example. This is at Mar-a-Lago. Look, check this out. Look at them. This is what they really think about y'all. While they have Latino performers on that stage at Shit-a-Lago, they got AI videos in the back playing, desecrating them. See? And those same ones, I live for Donald Trump. You see? They don't give a fuck about y'all. You're an ends to a means to them. You are a number. 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 You are a number.
Jeffrey, please stop playing in these people's funeral home. There ain't no way in hell this man is actually RIP in this photo. I mean, look at him. He's trying his best not to crack a smile. And what room is this? Like, it straight up looks like he's on the floor somewhere. I don't know, but looking at this picture, it just looks like, you know... Okay, keep your eyes closed, Jeffrey. Don't crack a smile. His face is red. He still has color in his face. He still has blood circulating in his body. Because if he... Okay, all that blood's gonna start to drain down, right? Like his face should be kind of pale, maybe gray, a little bit bluish or something. But hey, I'm no medical examiner, but I'm sure we got a lot of people that will happily drop in the comments if you have experience as a nurse, as a doctor working in the medical field, if you work in...
See, there's all kinds of conspiracy theories, but I don't chase conspiracy theories because they'll waste of time to me. They're a waste of time to me. I'm not one of those ones chasing those conspiracy theories about him possibly still being alive. I'm not one of them. I am not one of them.
Bitch, when I tell y'all that Jasmine Crockett is exactly who the she thinks she is.
We are currently the laughing stock of the world, partially because of the failed leadership within the DOJ, as we see kings and queens falling everywhere around the world.
This is what I mean. Let's talk about the part that nobody wants to touch. When Jasmine stood in that hearing and applied pressure to Pam's ass, that wasn't just politics, it was a whole mirror. Because Jasmine showed us what it looks like to use power on behalf of the people, and Pam continues to show us what it looks like to use power to protect systems and the dick that she's probably writing to stay at the top. And the difference matters. Pam once built a political rise on being a woman who had been harmed, who told her story, who leaned into the identity. She established her credibility around protecting women, right? And then that pain helped to open doors for her, which we thought we were cool about. We thought we were okay with that. But fast forward to now when she's sitting in one of the highest law enforcement seats in the country with survivors standing right behind her, biological women, because that matters to some of y'all. Not some Fox News fantasy, not a woke agenda, real women with real trauma, and she couldn't even look them women in the eye. No apology, no eye contact, no humanity, just postures for the dicks that keep her paycheck going. And here's the uncomfortable truth. She's already got what she needed from the system. She used the story to climb, she leveraged victimhood for power, and once she arrived, she left other women waiting in the lobby. But that's what white women do. We've seen it time and time again. It's betrayal. And meanwhile, the same Republican women that love to shout about protecting women, when they're talking about bathrooms and trans kids, they weaponize womanhood when it's convenient. They drag all the people and all the folks through the mud and under the banner of safety. But when actual abused women are in the room with you asking for accountability, it's crickets, silence, if you will. That's not protection, that's a performance. And yes, there were also a male survivor present, and that matters, but today I'm naming a pattern. Women who pulled the ladder up behind themselves and then used their power to police everybody else's bodies while refusing to tend to real harm. Jasmine Crockett didn't come in soft. She didn't come in polite.
Nope.
She came in real clear.
Came in crystal clear.
To be exact. And she said what too many people are afraid to say in government. You don't get to redact predators and expose victims. You don't get to hide behind professionalism while survivors beg you for justice. You don't get to wear your authority and abandon your your empathy. And that's why her edge matters, because accountability doesn't always sound calm. Sometimes it sounds like somebody finally telling the truth out loud. So if you are a Jasmine fan, then sit with this. This is what it looks like when you use your platform for people who don't have one. And if you're a fan of Pam Bondi, then sit with this too. How do you defend a woman who once sent her own pain and then couldn't honor anyone else's in return? That is the real question. Not who yelled, not who was composed, but who remember why they were supposed to be there, and who defended the people who keep us down every single day, especially the ones that want y'all to live in a world where the handmaid's tale becomes the truth, and they get to benefit from you having their babies and shutting them up. And until y'all understand that, like always, I'll wait.
My God today. My God today. Ugh. My God today. That's it. That'll do it. Yeah. Got more. Man, there's more. This is the one I was talking about. You see, this is a clear representation of how they're using white women as tokens, Sambos, and all these other sellouts to tell you straight face, we don't give a fuck about rich men raping little white girls. We don't care that they tortured them and killed them and ate them and whatever else happened on that godforsaken island. We don't care. You're just a number to us. We're going to get our money, and there ain't shit you going to do about it. We control the politicians. We control the financial infrastructure. We control everything. That is exactly what the message is in this picture. That is what I see when I look at Pam Bondi. Can't even think to even look those people in the face when she's sitting not even a foot away from them. She's literally right there in front of them. Look. Don't worry. Look. Just look.
A picture's worth 1,000 words, but sometimes it's worth 6 million files and proof that you're not protecting the victims, but instead protecting a child rape sex cult. We are compromising right now the United States of Israel. So let's go step by step in how they took over. It all goes back to the Rothschilds. I know you've heard that name before. And their creation of Israel and the establishment of the state in 1948, when they first started to ethnically cleanse the Palestinians from their land. That is when the takeover and the plot for the United States began. Experienced virtually no pushback until this man entered office. And that is because obviously they were all about never forget and never again. 6 million of them were just murdered by Adolf. And so they are at the point of how do we never let this happen again? And how can we basically take over the United States or infiltrate the United States because they are the most powerful country. Everything was copacetic. We had a great relationship until he said, I don't think you guys should get nuclear weapons. What happened to JFK after that? Dead. The USS Liberty. That's 3 years later, and this is the moment where I think they're like, all right, let's see how much we can actually get away with. Because 34 Americans killed, 174 injured, usually would be, wait, we sending a bomb at y'all. Maybe not a nuke, but missiles and military is on the way. But instead, it was just, it was an accident. An accident, a US ship flying, big ass American flag, we bombed them twice. That's not an accident, that's an attack. All this is happening. In enters Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, and McGraw-Hill, key to our American education. See, Robert Maxwell was the one that ran McGraw-Hill. And so if you wonder and you think back, why were we so focused on the Holocaust? Why were we so focused on Anne Frank?
And what were most of your textbooks? What company were your textbooks written by? McGraw-Hill. Robert Maxwell is Ghislaine Maxwell's father.
And nothing else. Always about World War II and what happened in the Holocaust.
Yep.
Rest of world history was kind of just like, yeah, we go over real quick, but y'all saw what happened in World War II? We can never let that shit happen again. This is where this culture of anti-Semitism was molded because they used our education system. We can literally see them trying to replay that right now of taking over October 7th and being like, hey, that's what people need to remember. Fuck how many Palestinians we killed. They gotta remember October 7th. And enters their best asset and Mossad agent yet, which is ridiculous that this is not being talked about more. Maurice Robert. You know who does this? Yeah. Spies. For who? Mossad. And so, what did they use him for? Hey, we will give you as much money as you need, and we're gonna connect you with powerful people around the world. You have a high EQ. So you're going to get these people on your side, and you're going to put them in compromising positions. You just don't go from teacher to the main person that every single person needs to get in contact with unless somebody puts you in that position. And come alive, Epstein's ring. Then this happened. There were 5 people that were dancing and recording while this was happening, and they said they were here to document the event. And at the same time, this is right after we say, we're not going to just go over to the Middle East and start bombing people. He's like, no. Iraq has weapons of mass destruction. If you don't listen to me, I'm telling you, they're going to attack y'all shortly after. Now, you can say it's conspiracy, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. After the research I've done, I know who the fuck I'm blaming, and it's not Osama bin Laden. Epstein gets word Trump's a powerful guy. They become best friends all through the 90s and into the early 2000s. Now, their relationship goes stale because of who? Virginia, the woman that killed herself. And he said that himself on a jet. He's like, yeah, man, Epstein stole her from me. Then he gets arrested in 2006 from 2 high school girls that were in an argument and overheard, you're a whore. You get paid for sex. If that would have never happened, who knows how much longer he would have been doing this ring of fucking psychotic bullshit. Now, for whatever reason, actually we know what reason, because he's a Mossad asset, when he goes to trial, only 1 girl is brought up, even though there's proof of 15. In 2006, Donald Trump makes that phone call. I'm telling you, everyone knew he was doing this. Thank God you caught him, aka jumping shit and trying to get out of this relationship publicly. Now he decides to team up with Bannon instead because obviously he also has connections, along with Lutnick, along with Wexner, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, all these people of power, because basically he's the middleman and he is the spy that will then report back. Those crucial years will come between 2011 and 2019, where obviously Greater Israel was already a thing in their head, and also Bitcoin was established. He's one of the only people that knows the founders. And once you think about Bitcoin, it makes a lot more sense. How can we hide money that is untraceable and fund whoever the fuck we need to fund, and no government can say anything about it? Who else would do that? I know, the Mossad. A lot of people don't realize we're not a left wing, right wing. It's the same bird. We're a controlled asset by these people. And there's no stopping it until we're like, oh, we got to disband this entire government. Anybody that has any attachment to AIPAC gots to go. We actually do go against them and basically try to overthrow them from power and say, hey, you guys no longer have influence in us, China, Russia, Middle East, none of that. That's when the sanction option comes out to play, which is basically their nuclear weapon where they go, bing, bing, and everybody fucking dies. Or they send nukes in all fucking different directions because, hey, we feel as though we're the chosen people. So if we got to go, so do all y'all. Mars Rare, you guessed it. Death. Brings us all the way back to how we got here today and how a woman cannot look other women that were sexually trafficked in the face because she's been purchased, bought. She's no longer even a human being. She's just another asset. In the United States of Israel, because we have power-hungry rapists, child pedophile type of people that want to veer for power, and he was able to catch all of them. A Mossad agent who also has some sick, nefarious, Mephistophelian tendencies, who also murdered people between both of them. So a real investigation took take place, but you guys also shouldn't expect it because the people that are currently in our country don't even run this shit. We get the call from BB the bomber and we have to follow orders. And that's why we have to starve the government slowly, one by one, ourselves. Or else this shit will never stop. We're just gonna keep on sending money, taxes, all the way over there until America is no fucking longer. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but sometimes it's worth 6 million files and proof that you're not protecting the victims, but instead protecting a child rape sex cult. We are compromising right now the United States of Israel. So let's go step by step in how they took over. It goes back to the Rothschilds. I know you've heard that name before.
See? There you go. How is our country so beholden to Israel? There you go. Because powerful people in place keep us there. You're going to have to destroy the whole system. The whole system needs to go. It's got to go. Just so y'all know, it's got to go. Y'all got to go. Y'all got to go. But anyways, I think I've done enough. I think I've done enough today. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I've done enough. What do y'all think? I think I've done enough today. I'll take socialism for 200, Alex. But anyways, shout out to the mighty LDBC. Shout out to everybody who donated to the channel. Matter of fact, but shout out to Not 8697. Thanks for constantly showing love to the channel, man. Your donation helps. I appreciate you. But this shit don't run on free. So, just so y'all know, this shit does not run on free. Wish it did, but it don't. Costs money to do this shit. But anyways, y'all have yourselves a great day. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody who smashed the like button and all that good fun stuff. Y'all have a good one, all right? And I am gone.
I have to get off this thing to go on my. Matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna let Champ listen to some music. I'll holler at y'all in the meantime. Peace, love, and blessings. Shout out to the mighty LDBC.